Now, as we look through mental math strategies for adding and subtracting, we also need to take a look at how they relate and how they will then develop into the standard algorithms for addition and subtraction. Now, the standard algorithm for addition and subtraction have a number of strengths and a number of weaknesses, and we'll talk about those in the next activity. But for now, let's take a look at 27 plus 38 and see how we can use the base 10 blocks, which are the blue blocks in your manipulatives kit, to solve this problem, and how these three students ended up figuring this out. So think about what these three students, the student 1, 2, and 3 are doing, and we're going to try to model this using base 10 blocks. So 27 plus 38. So if we have 27 plus 38, we can model them. So 20, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 38. Whoops. All right. So if you look at this, so we need to add these two and figure out how much we have as the sum. So if a student is just working with a particular base 10 blocks, oops, 2, 3, should be, that one should not be there. Okay, 27 plus 38, now I got it. So if we want to figure out how much all of that is, we can add the 10 rods, and we can add the 1 rods. Now let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7, and 3 more. That will give us 10. So what we could do is we could take this and actually trade that for a tens. So let's see. Trade that, whoops. Okay, let's trade that. So we'll get rid of these guys. Okay, we've traded them. Oops. We've traded them all. So now if we read off this number, we've got 60, 60, and 5. So 65. So let's get back to our problems here. So let's see what the students are doing. If we have 27 and 38, the students, this particular student 1 modeled it using 2 rods and 7 singles, and the 38 with 3 rods and 8 singles. And then the student did exactly what we did by grouping and trading the 10 singles into 1 rod. Now, the second student, so this was making 10, right? This was making 10. That student said, I have 7 plus 3 more is going to give me 10. Student number 2 is also making 10, so they modeled the 27 and 38 quite equally, and they're also making 10, but they're looking at 5 and 5, making 10 by using 5 and 5 to make the other rod. So that'll make it 65. So then for student 3, now look at what student 3 is doing. Student 3 modeled 27 and 38 quite well, but then they're counting up. They're counting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57, and then counting the others, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. So they're not making 10 at all. They're counting on in a fairly, by ones, right? So in a fairly concrete way, without the abstraction of making 10. Now, finally, the student 4 is doing subtraction. So let's see, 62 minus 45. Let's see what we can do on our base 10 blocks. 62 minus, what was it, 62 minus 45? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 62. And we need to subtract 45. Now, can we take away 40? Let me just make sure that we got the right number here. 62 minus 45. So 62 minus 45. Can we take away 40? Well, sure we can. We can take away 40. So that's the minus 40. But we can't take away 5 because there's nothing, no 5 to take away from. But instead, we can trade this 1 rod for 10 singles. So let's do that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to take 1 rod and make it into 10 singles. Now can we take away 5? And sure enough, we can. So we took away 40 and we took away 5. And what is left is 10 and 7. So 17. So let's get back to what this student is doing. There we go. What this student is doing. So we have 62 modeled. This student is taking away the 40. You see the crossed out 40. The student is trading the 110 for 10 singles and crossing out the 5. And the student is left with 110 and 7. Now, I would like for you guys to take a look at how the students would model 36 plus 27 and how student 4 would work 43 minus 18. If you have any questions with those, let me know when we meet again.